Before we get going into the video, my name is Brando for the new viewers. I'm the founder of Brandlux Media. We are an e-commerce growth agency. We've been able and so fortunate to work with 100 plus partners. And so the reason I started this channel is to document every framework that I know is proven to work and that actually work so that you can get some value from it and, hopefully make your business a success. With no further ado, I hope you enjoy this video. How's it going? This is Brando from Brandlux Media, and today I'm going to cover a topic that I actually never spoke about in my previous YouTube videos. It's a landing page strategy and framework that we've used several different times, and it almost never failed us. So if you're able to follow exactly what I say, you can literally implement the same exact process for your own brand and see pretty much success. I can't guarantee that, of course. It will depend on multiple other factors, but if you follow it to the T, there's a chance that it can work for you as well. And this is the exact same process that allowed to scale one of my clients to over $400,000 in a single month. And I'm going to show you in just a second. With no further ado, let's get right into the video so that I can talk about the exact same structure and strategy that we used. Great, so as usual, before we get into the actual strategy, here is some proof. As you can see, we generated $407,000 in sales for this client between September 1st and September 30th of last year. The reason I'm showing you this date is because this is mainly when we were running this type of strategy, specifically in this date. So as you can see, $407,000 in sales. And some days we almost reached 20K days, which is amazing. And this is not even in a holiday period, or we were not even running a special promotion. It was purely based on the strategy and the approach that we were taking. Now that we got the proof out of the way, let's actually dive deep into what did we actually do, right? I told you at the title of the video that there's a specific landing page structure, right, that we were using. And it's sort of that, of course, but it's mostly the concept. Right? Did we actually use a sales page? Were we pushing people to a product page, a sales page, a landing page, call it whatever you want? The approach was slightly different, but it's still, a structure still applies to everything, right? So let me actually bring here a freeform, okay? Where I have a couple things to show you. Now, the strategy that we use and the structure that we use was through an advertorial strategy. Now you can call it advertorial, listicle. There's a couple ways to call this strategy, but it's essentially an informational page, right? It's still a landing page. It's the same exact concept of a landing page. You have to develop a page, put a title, put sections, right? It's the same exact thing, but it has a different goal to it. It has a completely different goal to it. Now, stick with me until the end because I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to bring you through the entire funnel of what we used and what we did for this client and why it works so well. And at the same time, I'm going to share with you the types of advertorials and listicles that we've tested in the past that have been crushing it, 1000% crushing it. And then I'm going to show you some examples. So I'm going to do the entire thing, so just make sure that you stick until the end to get the most value, and also to make sure that you have enough context, because I'm going to talk about some of the things now that are going to make sense later after I explain some things. So 8-figure advertising funnel, it's very simple. We have ads over here, whether it's social, whether it's Meta, whatever, Instagram, Pinterest, I don't care, Google, it doesn't matter. It works in any, in multiple different ways. It doesn't actually matter what traffic source you're using. So we have ads over here that go into an advertorial. And by the way, this is just, this is Hum. It's a great brand. They're doing multiple 8 figures online. It's a great strategy. They're using it. And by the way, before I move on, I want to show you, tell you one thing. The main reason why we decided to test this strategy, even if it was years ago, we've been doing this for a while, is purely because other companies just like Hum, right? There's a billion other companies, not a billion, but a handful of other companies doing this. And so what we want to do is literally leverage what is already proven to work in the market. A lot of us are just trying to go and fetch for new strategies. We don't really need to do that. We need to find something that is proven. And this advertorial / listicle approach is something that is kind of untapped. Not a lot of companies do this. And people think that it only works for brands that need a lot of information. And that's kind of true, but it's also not, because you can sell anything with it. You can literally sell puppets with it. You can sell puppets with a listicle and advertorial landing page strategy, right? So let's get into the funnel. You have ads and you have an advertorial, right? And we're going to discuss the different types of advertorials. And then you redirect these people into a product page. One other thing that you can do is that if you make the advertorial a little more broad, you can maybe cover multiple different solutions or talk about multiple different problems. And instead of redirecting people to just one product page, you make sure that you link multiple products that you offer, product offerings within the listicle or within the advertorial. So this is also why it's a great resource to use. And one thing that we add, and why I love this so much, is that when people click the ad, they go to the advertorial instead of going to the landing page, right? And this automatically means that we are able to get to create an additional retargeting pool, right? Instead of having, going from ad to product page and just having the traditional, view content retargeting, right? That we can have with the, our Shopify website or whatever, each product page, we add an extra layer of retargeting, which is this one over here. And this is absolutely amazing. The more retargeting layers that you add, and technically the more your campaigns are profitable because you're promoting to warmer audiences, right? So this is an amazing strategy just to have that alone, right? And the reason why this retargeting audience is really like typically a lot warmer than any other type of retargeting audience is because when we redirect people to this page, we're sharing so much valuable information, and it's purely an informational approach. It's not a salesy approach. We don't want to promote. We want to share as much value as possible. So these people that are being retargeted from this advertorial one page are literally probably have the best understanding of what you do, what you sell, the information, not exactly what you sell yet, because that's maybe covered over here, but purely information about the topic, right? Or could be the product, right? But the one approach that I like to take with this advertorial strategy is forget about sales and focus on building as much value and sharing as much information, right? Regarding the specific problem that you're solving to your audience. We don't want to go with sales yet here. And this is actually also very appreciative because if people go from an ad, right, and they go to an advertorial, it's really like, it's user friendly, it's sales friendly. They're just consuming information on like an article, which is a lot more easier for them to, to make a buying decisions from. Now, what we want to do here is that once we have our own advertorial, I call it advertorial one retargeting pool, then guess what? We can create additional ads, right, that can redirect them to multiple other advertorials that cover multiple different objections or cover different topics, maybe regarding the same product, right? So we can still create 7 different advertorials, right, and talk about 7 different problems by selling the same product, right? So we can have one product that has 7 different faces, 7 different problems, and we can write advertorials for each problem, right? So that's a great example. So one problem, right, for example, that Hum, this amazing brand, is covering here is 5 reasons why your 5 reasons why your farts smell really bad, according to GI doctors. Right, this is a very fun topic, but I guess really fun, interesting, fun, whatever you want. But yeah, so the point here of the strategy is, that ads then go and retarget these people that are warm. They know what we do. They know the information that we provide, and we go ahead and get rid of all of their objections by redirecting them to multiple other advertorials. And guess what? Each advertorial is going to have the same structure. They're going to go from advertorial to product page where we can get sales and collect sales. And you can also, I also added a third option where you can just retarget them to the product page. Of course, that's something we can do, anything, right? But this is pretty much the structure that we used with this client. We had a couple advertorials. We typically had 3, and this is the structure that we used. Now let me see what I wrote here. Yeah, so the end result is that you'll create many more retargeting audiences, as I said before, and your customers will be sold with information and not a hard sale, right? Purely information. This is a nurturing and value-based strategy to get people informed on your product and help them make irrational decisions when it comes to their, decision making and their buying process, their sales journey, right? And so this is a great approach. Now let's talk about the winning advertorials frameworks that we have been using that have been crushing it, at least for us, right? There's a billion ways to do this, but these are the strategies that have been really working well for us. Now, there's different types of advertorials. These are the 3 that that we've tested for this specific client. It was X reasons why landing page. So 7 reasons why XYZ happens in XYZ whatever. So like the top 5 reasons why this happens, or this is just a framework, right? So I'm trying to come up with something here, but this is an example, right? 5 reasons why your farts smell really bad, right? And so we're talking about a specific topic and putting a number to the potential reasons why or the solutions, right? So this is a great framework to incentivize people to read. And it's a great framework, and it's actually, I think, one of the winning, the storytelling was working really well for us. And the X reasons why, actually these were all really best performance, to be honest with you. But this is a great strategy, X reasons why. Storytelling is my personal favorite. Why? Because stories actually sell. So I'm going to show you some examples later, so stick with me. I'm going to show you the exact template of a listicle and advertorial, so you can understand what it what it looks like. But storytelling is purely based on story. So what we want to do is maybe get a case study or get a customer, right? Or it can also be an invented person, right, that tells a story about a specific problem, the epiphany, and how the problem was solved. And of course, how was the problem solved? It was solved using your product, your service, whatever you're selling, right? In this case, ecom people, right? So this is it's great. So we're using the Russell Brunson strategy, or like hook, story, offer, right? This works really well. Once again, I'm going to show you some examples. And the third strategy that we used was a third-party review. So we made it look like it was like, I'll give you an example, like the top 7 baby products of the year, right? So it's essentially like a review from like a third party, right? That's kind of like the framework. And you can host this on your own website, and you can say the 7 best baby products of the year. And then of course, the number 1 will be your choice. One strategy that we tested is that we put the number 1 at the end. So they consume all products and they see how shitty all the other products are and how amazing your product is towards the end, right? The only thing that you have to make sure is that the other products that you talk about are not as good as yours, right? That's of course really fundamental. So you can use these 3 strategies. Once again, they've been working well for us. And let's talk about the 3 different ways to do this and to take this approach. You can promote through your website with your own domain, which works really well. It's fine. I typically like to start with this approach and then move on to something else, which I'll explain in just a second. The second approach is through a third-party high authority website, right? So like Forbes, right? Other like these amazing, very high authority websites. The only problem with this approach is that you don't have, it's high authority, right? But you can't really retarget, and you're not really owning your audience. You're just purely relying on going from ad to advertorial, which is not, you don't own the domain, you don't know anything, and then from advertorial to back to your website. So this could still work. We've tested it. It really does work if it's the right page that has the right authority. But once again, you are not in control of your retargeting part, which is kind of like a bummer, right? The third approach, which is my personal favorite, I can really work well, but I would only do it once you prove the concept on your own website, is through your own third-party page and website. So maybe you can, if you're selling baby products, you can buy a domain called bestbabyproductsreviews.com. I don't know, just as an example. And you also create a Facebook page or whatever, Instagram page, Facebook page about just general reviews, so that you make it about baby product reviews. So you essentially just create a whole different business, right? Whatever. So you buy the domain, and you also, within that domain, then you create the listicle page. So people are essentially, in their minds, they're thinking, okay, this brand is not, there's no bias, as I say here, there's literally no bias, because this brand is pushing a product. I'm reading an article about a product that is not being pushed by the brand directly, right? Which eliminates the bias. And so psychologically, it makes people more trust you more whenever they actually visit your product page. So just imagine they go from ad to a complete, like a third-party review website, bestbabyproductsoftheyear.com, and then they go to your main website and your main domain. So this really works well, and you can also create, once again, your own Facebook page just to make it coherent, right? And yeah, so these are some approaches that really work well. Now let's actually dive deeper into a couple more things. Let me switch slides over here. Amazing. So once again, this is just a 5 reasons why type of format, and as you can see, it's very readable, it's easy to understand. This is also kind of a landing page. We actually build these on like Pagefly or Replo, like these page builders. Super easy. It takes like not even an hour to build. One other important thing is that, sure, you have the number 1, right? Number 2, number 3 is that if there's information, especially if it's scientific, but also if it's not, if you're just making claims, make sure to link to other articles as well, so that people see that this is actual real research and you're talking, they can trust what you're saying. So in this case, Hum is a supplement brand, so they're kind of really forced to make bold claims and at the same time back them up. But this is this is just an example that I'm showing you that is really working well. They're doing amazing on Facebook. And guess what? At the end, they have their products based on the issue that they spoke about. And this is pretty much it. Here's another one. This is what causes vaginal itch according to OB whatever. So this is just another article. right? Let's actually go through over here an example of what of the different types of listicles that we've tested, and kind of show you the structure of how we do things. Whenever we onboard a client and they want to do a listicle with us, the first thing that we do is that we create a wireframe, or not essentially, I guess, a wireframe, that's more for like websites, but more of like a structure. So this is, and I can share with, these with you. If you want, just comment below, just let me know if you want this. If enough people comment, I promise I'm going to share this with you. But essentially, X reasons why. So we start with like 7 reasons why X, Y, Z, or 5 reasons why. And this is essentially the structure of the landing page. We have all the reasons, right? What we want to do here is make sure that there's statistical data or information that they can rely on, that is just not, that is everything but other than your word, right? Because sure, you can read a website that has a bunch of information, but it's a lot more reliable if it's backed by numbers, science, data, right? So, and this is also why I love the listicle and advertorial approach so much. It's because it's purely informational, right? And the more information we give to our prospects, and the less objections they will have throughout the sales process, which is 1000% fundamental. Here we have also an us versus them whenever we introduce the product, but you get the point. And then we have like an offer. This is typically, we don't even have an offer, but sometimes we do. It depends. We can split test. But I advise to test both. You can test maybe with an offer at the end. So you provide the value first, you provide the information first, and then you have like a very soft CTA or a soft offer. But I would also advise you to test without a soft CTA. Now, storytelling, once again, here, you can read these yourself when I share it. These are very good examples. But here we're literally hooking people with a claim, right? We're telling a story. Telling a story about whatever, Susan that had a dog that had itching problems. The dog was itching all day long, and then this came with this amazing supplement dog company that introduced her to this amazing solution. And then we're talking about essentially the problem, the epiphany, and all that stuff, and then the solution to the problem. And then we have some key factors of the product, and then we introduce the product towards the end. Very simple. And third-party reviews, this is, top picks. This is actually, we've tested this and it works really well in any industry. So it can be, let's just say, tech products. We've done this also with a tech brand that was selling like cameras. And so we introduced the product. We've tested both strategy, introducing number 1 at the top, or introducing the number 1 top pick at the bottom. And so I don't remember which one performed best, but if technically speaking, if we put the top pick at the bottom, then there's a longer scrolling period, which is also great. And if there's a longer scrolling period, it automatically means that they're consuming more information, right? Which is what we want, which is the entire goal of this strategy. Either way, this is the strategy, the structure. I can share these with more detail, but once again, this is the approach that we used. This is more of a long form type of thing, yeah. But what I think we did here is that we introduced, the top picks. We briefly described them over here, and then we went on and really dug deeper into, okay, number 1, A+ rating, right? And that's the brand, what you're promoting, your product. Number 2, A rating or whatever, B rating. 3, 4, B rating. And then of course, the more you go down and the more the rating sucks. But we are actually providing information, right, to all the products, which is probably very appreciative from a customer standpoint, right? So these are all things that work well. Once again, there's no specific answer. I'm not telling you this, this approach only works well if you do XYZ. There's a billion ways to do this. I'm just showing you the type of structure, the type of concept, in this case, advertorials, that worked really well for us. In this case, it was, these 3 were the examples that worked well for us. The storytelling approach, this is my personal favorite, third-party reviews, and then 5 reasons why, X reasons why, landing page type of approach. And this is my personal favorite approach. I would only test this once again once the approach is actually proven. So don't go ahead and buy a new domain and create a page and do all that stuff. Make sure that it's proven. Just do it on your website, build a landing page in one day, and make sure that it's structured. Let me know if you want the document down below, this one over here that I shared, so that you can read through the examples, so that it makes a lot more sense. But with no further ado, I hope this video was very valuable to you. And let me know if you have any questions down in the YouTube comments, but also give me some more inspiration on what topics you want me to cover, so that I can better help you to grow your business. Okay, with no further ado, I'm done, and see you in the next video. Bye. On a side note, before I end it off here, if you actually own an e-commerce business and you want your business and your brand to be audited, we can just hop on a call, hop on a free strategy session with myself or one of my team members, and we can pretty much have a conversation about your roadmap towards next year and how perhaps you can reach your goals. Conversation is very laid back. It's honestly just to understand if there's an opportunity for us to do even business together one day. Okay? With no further ado, thank you once again, and who knows, maybe see you in the next masterclass.